Okay, my friends, Anna and Michaela and Quinn, if you're around too, and Helen and Lily, if you're around. I will preface this by saying that I planned this when I was hungover, and going upside down was really hard. So there aren't a lot of forward folds or downward dogs or any like inverted things. And so at any time, if you feel like you're really craving that and you want to break away from whatever I'm doing to just have a moment in any upside down position, please feel free. And always feel free to pause in child's pose or anything that just feels right and necessary for you at any time. We're going to start on our backs. So lie on your back. Just bring your knees into your chest. And feel yourself just sort of melting into the ground or surrendering, yielding. Feeling the weight of gravity just pushing your spine into the ground. And then begin to take some really mindful breaths, giving yourselves 3 counts for each inhale and 3 counts for each exhale. So inhaling 1, 2, 3, hold for 1 second, exhale 1, 2, 3. Again, inhale 1, 2, 3, hold for a second, exhale 1, 2, 3. So just keep exploring that pattern for the next couple of seconds. Okay, on your next set, your inhale, you're going to stay on your back for your inhale for 3 counts. And as you exhale, you're just going to lift your neck, the tops of your shoulders, so that your chin or nose or forehead are reaching towards your knees as you exhale. And then inhale as you lower. And again, exhale coming up. Inhale as you lower. Exhale and up. And inhale, lower down. Exhale, coming up. Inhale, lowering down. This is going to be our last exhale that brings our chin or forehead or nose to knees. And lowering down. We're going to let go of our knees and find a really nice big X on your back. And we're going to continue that sequence of breathing. So every time we inhale, we will be in this X position. And as we exhale, we're going to curve into the same knees to face place, yeah? So inhaling, getting bigger, exhaling, getting tiny. Inhale, getting big. Exhale, putting in. Inhale, extending. Exhale, contracting. 2 more of those. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Letting the chest, upper part of the chest, the neck, and the head go back down to the ground. We're going to extend the left leg out, keeping the right leg bent and tucked into the chest. Our left leg that's extended, we're gonna go ahead and flex that ankle so that there's a lot of energy continuing to press through that leg. And we're just gonna gently rock that right leg open so that our front body is facing the ceiling and very open here. And then cross it back over your chest and just gently twist it. We're not going all the way for a full spiral yet, but just bring it about to the left shoulder. Coming back through center, again, opening that right knee towards the right shoulder. And back across the chest towards the left shoulder. One more time with that gentle open to the right. And crossing it over just a little to the left. And bring it back just into the center of your chest, bringing your left knee now into your chest as well. Extending the right leg out, flexing at the ankle. Feeling an energetic line that travels from your hip through your knee, through the heel of that right leg. Left knee is tucked into the chest, and we're just going to open it very gently towards the left side. And across the chest to gently open it towards the right shoulder. And again towards the left. Across the chest to the right shoulder. Last one, across and opening to the left. Body is open and wide. And over to the right shoulder. And bring it back just to the central part of your body. Bring the right knee in again. This time we are going to go for a more fuller spiral in the spine. So keeping the knees just bent and tucked in. We're going to rotate both knees towards the left side, letting the right arm extend towards the right and letting the focus go towards the right as well. So we're finding a little bit of a spiral in the spine. The knees are still tucked, still flexed in the hips as well. And let's do that on the other side, bringing the knees close in towards the chest again. You can use your hands to bring them in if you need that extra support. Letting them release to the right side and opening your left arm towards the left and looking towards your left side. A couple of breaths here. And this time, instead of coming back to your back, I'm just gonna roll into a little fetal position. So my knees are already facing the right side. I'm just gonna let my head unwind towards the right side, and then I'm coming onto the right side body. And I'm gonna just give myself a really nice little hug here. A nice little compression, squeezing, squeezing, squeezing tightly. And then letting it go and just feeling yourself melt into the floor. And then slowly, gently pushing yourself a little more upright to a seated position. Sitting in a cross-legged position, whichever leg in front that you want, up to you. We're going to take an inhale, bring the arms up. As we exhale, we're going to twist towards the right and let the arms float down. And you can think about bringing your right hand behind your right hip and your left hand towards your right knee. Trying to make sure that the left hip stays on the ground. So if you feel like you start to lift that hip up in order to twist, just lessen your twist a little bit, lessen your spiral. Another breath here. And then gently let that go, unspiraling yourself so that you're facing the center. We'll do the same thing going towards the left. Inhale the arms up. Exhale, twisting towards the left side, making sure that the right hip stays connected to the ground. Releasing that. We're going to do a repeat of that, just basic, inhaling the arms up. Twisting with the exhale. Coming back to center. Again, towards the left, we're inhaling the arms up. Twisting as we exhale. And release that. This time we're going to add a little bit of a forward fold. So we're going to inhale the arms up. Twist as we exhale. Now allow yourself to fold at the hip crease and the waist, letting your hands skim the floor until you are dragging your hands across the floor to get to the center of your body, so center front. And then just rolling up through the spine. You can press into the floor with your palms if you need to help you come up. And we'll do that again. The left, inhale. Exhale, twist. Folding towards the left knee, letting the palms come to the ground and drawing a little arc so that they reach in front of you. And coming up to the center. One more of those on each side. Inhaling up. Twist right. Fold and draw your arc. Rolling up through the spine. Last one to the left. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Folding towards the left knee. Drawing a circle to the front. And coming up to seated pose. We're gonna just unfold the knees, send them out in front of us into a gentle staff pose right now. And then go ahead and just wiggle your ankles and your toes. Find a little bit of flexing, circling there. You might want to do that in your neck as well. And really just feel the groundedness that you've got in your sits bones here. Energy and gravity just flowing right through you. We're going to bend the right knee and bring it up as far up the left leg as you can. That might be at your shin, it might be at your knee, and it might be at your thigh, but we're just thinking about keeping those hips facing forward still. And we're going to just gently fold at the hips, folding forward just as much as you can. So no pressure to feel your chest on your leg. This is just a gentle reach forward. Keeping energy through the left leg. So just like we did before when we were lying on our backs, that ankle is flexed as though the floor is actually upright and you would be standing on it if we were standing. Then lift the spine so that we come to an upright seated position. We're going to take that knee, switch its orientation so that it's facing the ceiling and cross it over the extended leg, putting the sole of the foot on the ground. And then we're going to twist towards the right. So I'm wrapping my left hand around my right knee and spiraling or twisting my shoulders towards the right side. And gently unwind yourself so that our shoulders are facing forward again. I'm gonna unhook the right leg. I'm gonna grab it. I'm gonna grab the right big toe with my left hand. So that can either be your 2 fingers or the full palm, whatever you need. And I'm gonna try to extend it here. And if your knee doesn't straighten, that's okay. Straighten it as much as you can. So you might have a bent knee here, or you might be completely straight. Whatever you've got the capacity to do is totally fine. So you can hold this here, or if you're feeling a little risky, you can twist again, finding another twist there. And coming back to your front-facing position, I'm just gonna lower that right leg down. We're gonna do the same thing with the left side. So right leg is straight, flexed at the ankle. Our left knee is going to bend. And find a pressure point somewhere along the right leg. And we're just gonna gently reach forward. And bring the spine upright, switching the orientation of the knee of the left leg so that it is now facing the ceiling, crossing the left foot over the right leg to find our spiral towards the left side. Continuing to breathe. And unwinding yourself, uncrossing the foot and grabbing it with the opposite hand to extend it forward. Again, knee can be bent or straight, wherever you are today. And if you feel like you can add a little twist towards the left side there, go ahead and go for it. And unwinding yourself to come back to that center place, letting the leg down. We're going to transition into a tabletop position. So my transition is going to look a little different from yours because of the orientation of my mat, but feel free to find a cross-leg position to then get into your tabletop there, or whatever it is that you need to do. Thinking about our wrists underneath our shoulders and our knees underneath our hips. And we're going to go through a little bit of a flow here. Reminder, I made this when I was hungover and I couldn't be upside down. So again, this would be your point of if you find at any time that you want to do a downward dog, feel free to go for that. So we're in tabletop here. We're going to extend the legs out behind us to get into plank one at a time. We're going to lower down by bending the elbows. We're going to come up to a gentle cobra to start. We're going to press back into child's pose. And then we're going to come back up to our knees. So adding in the breath with that. Let's take an inhale in this tabletop. And exhale to extend into plank. Inhale in plank. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, little cobra. Exhale, press into your child's pose. Inhale as we come back to tabletop. Exhale as we extend the legs to plank. Inhaling in plank and exhaling as we lower. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, coming to tabletop. Exhale, extending the feet back. Inhale in plank before we exhale, lower. Inhale, cobra. exhale, child's pose. We're just going to do one more of those. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, plank. Inhale and exhale to lower. Inhale, little cobra. Exhale, sending the hips back. And let's just hold this child's pose for a couple of seconds. So your choice to keep the knees close together with your chest on the thighs, or open the knees to give the chest space and a little bit of a deeper stretch in your hip flexors. So up to you. I'm just going to hold it there for a couple of breaths. Or take a sip of water if you need. Take a nice deep inhale. On your next exhale, shift into your tabletop position again. We're going to inhale the right leg out, so extending it behind us. Exhale, bend the knee and tuck the knee to the chin chest area. And then go ahead and bring that foot through so that you're placing the sole of the foot on the ground. And we're going to tuck the toes of the back leg and lift ourselves up into a high lunge. So I'm going to keep my hands, both hands on the ground here. I'm going to bring my left hand close to the center, so a little bit closer to my right foot. And I'm going to just slowly begin to twist my upper body towards the right side. So you can start by just putting the right hand on the right thigh if you need to, or the knee. And then you can gradually open yourself up to reach that right hand up towards the ceiling. And let that hand come down. We're back to our lunge. I'm just going to press gently up to come to a more upright position in that lunge, just to wake myself up a little bit, test it, see how it feels. And I'm going to lower back down, both palms to the ground. Send the right foot back into a plank position. We're going to go through a little flow here. Exhale as you lower. This time you can either do upward dog if you want a little bit more energy through the back, or you can stay with cobra, whatever you like. Exhale, send the hips back into child's pose. Take an inhale here, and on your next exhale, come back to tabletop position. Inhale the left leg behind you, straightening that knee. And as you exhale, bend the knee, tuck it in, close to your chin, chest, and then plant the foot, sole of the foot on the ground, lifting the knee of the back leg to come into your high lunge. Feeling this in your body before we start our twist. Bringing the right palm close to the left foot, beginning to open the chest towards the left side. Take it in increments if you need. No need to go quickly into this spiral here. Releasing that spiral. Both palms to the ground before I come up just a little bit to test this shape, see how it feels. And lowering the palms back down, going into plank. Exhale as we lower down. Inhale into your upward dog or cobra. Exhale back to your child's pose. And let's hold this for a couple of breaths. All right, take an inhale. We're going to do a little bit of a similar movement here as you exhale, come back into your tabletop position. Inhale, extend the right leg. Exhale, tuck it in towards the chest to plant the foot. And we're going to tuck the toes of the back leg to extend the back knee. And this time we're going to come all the way up. And we're going to do an inhale, exhale series with the arms. So I'm going to inhale, bringing my arms up. I'm going to exhale. I'm just going to start with the arms for now, lower and down. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, let them go down. I'm going to add the upper body if you want to join me. Inhale, the upper body, chest is sinking, lifting towards the ceiling. Exhale, we're going to float the chest to the thigh and let the hands come behind the hips. Inhale, scoop all that up. Exhale, unfold. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, find a fold. I'm going to put my hands on the ground here, and I'm just going to bring my back leg a little bit closer, so I'm raising my hips a little bit higher. I'm going to inhale. Both of my knees are straight. And exhale as I circle my arms down. Inhale, circle. The arms are coming behind me with straight knees, and then as I reach forward and out, the knee bends. So we're just making some little circles here, feeling free to find this very open place in the neck and chest as you circle backwards. And just do a couple of these in your own time. And finish your final one by coming back down to this lunge position with the hands on the ground. And then extending or sending that front leg back to the plank and another flow. Exhale as you lower down. Inhaling up. Exhale into child's pose. Inhale, exhale to tabletop. Extending the left leg with an inhale. Exhale, knee to chin, chest. Planting the left foot. Tucking your toes of the back leg to lift the knee. And coming upright. We're going to start with just inhale of the arms. Inhale them up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, lower. I'm going to add the upper body if you want to join me. Inhale. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, scooping up. Exhale, forward. Inhale. Exhale. Final one. Inhale. This time on my exhale, I'm going to place my hands down. I'm going to bring my back leg a little bit closer. As I inhale, I'm going to scoop the arms up. I'm going to straighten the knee and have this nice open moment of the chest and the neck before I exhale and fold again. Inhale, circle. And take these in your own timing. Do not feel like you need to be moving at the same pace as me. And on your final one here, wherever you are, go ahead and find your palms on the ground again, sending that front leg back. Our last little chaturanga for the moment. And I'm just going to hold in child's pose for a few breaths here. Okay, and then we're going to come to standing. So you can find your way through this tabletop position and just sort of gently tuck the feet on the ground to rise up. All right, we're just going to get on our feet a little bit. I'm probably going to hit this fan, so I might have to move back and forth a bit, but just standing at the top of our mat, let's just go ahead and take an inhale, bringing the arms up, and then pull the palms together into prayer position and exhale as they come in front of your chest. And let them go. Hands by the side, do that again. Inhale, bringing the arms up, palms together. Exhale, prayer position in front of your chest. One more time, lowering the hands. Inhale, bringing them up, palms together. Exhale, throughout your chest. And we're going to go through a little bit of a, well, we're all dancers here, so we know this, releve and plie situation. We're going to shift our weight forward towards the balls of our feet and rise up and then lower the heels. And shift the weight forward to rise up on the balls of the feet and then just lower the heels. Two more of those, just lifting up and lowering. Final one, lifting up and lowering. This time we're going to send the hips back and down so that we find a plie here. Very different from a dance plie because we're letting our butt stick out, which cannot happen most of the time in dance. And then just extending the knees to come back to straight knees, full stance. We're going to do that again. Weight forward, shift us into a releve. Our hips want to go back and down, which brings our heels down into plie. And this time I'm going to let the hands go. They're by our side. I'm going to inhale as I sweep them up. And we are in chair pose. A couple of breaths here. Thinking about open chest, open neck, reaching out in this high diagonal in front of you. And then bringing the palms together as you exhale, straighten the knees and bring the palm in front of your chest. That sequence one more time. Going into our releve. Lowering the heels, sending the hips back and down. Releasing the hands to come by our side to inhale and sweep up. Holding our chair pose here. And bringing the palms together as we exhale, straighten the knees. Hands are at the chest. I'm going to rotate. You can probably stay where you are. We're just going to go into a one-legged balance tree pose here. So finding your wide, wide, wide stance. So weight in all parts of the foot. You can think about the triangle that's underneath the sole of your foot. So 1, 2, 3. Those points touching the ground and your toes spreading wide. And then we're just gonna gently start to lift up the right leg. You can either touch the sole of your right foot to your ankle, your shin, or your thigh, but not your knee. Whichever place feels good for you. And then we also have the option to hold our hands in this prayer pose in front of our chest, or maybe even behind the chest if you want to open up in your sternum, bringing your scapula together to facilitate that. Continuing to breathe. And just seeing where you're holding tension in your body and playing with what happens if you let tension go in that area. So trying to test where tension is necessary to maintain this shape. So clue here, tension in your jaw is probably not helping this. Okay, then we're gonna take that knee, the right knee that's already up. We're gonna bend it and pull it into our chest, similar to what we were doing when we were on the ground. And we are going to take the same hand as foot. Again, similar to the ground. If you can't straighten your knee all the way, that's okay. If you lose your balance, that is also fine. Coming back to it, slowly as you need. Go ahead and switch the hold that you have on that foot so that your opposite hand is to opposite leg. And then putting the other hand on your hip. And then letting that go, releasing it to the ground, shaking out your standing leg. Maybe even pedaling through that standing foot a little bit, just in case you were gripping in your arches to maintain your balance. Here's a moment for you to stretch it out. Let's do the other side. Starting with our hands in prayer. Lifting the left foot, either to the ankle, shin, or thigh. Hands in prayer, either in front of your chest or behind, whatever feels great for you today. Checking in with your places of tension, seeing if there's anything that you can let go of to settle a little more equally and comfortably into this pose. And then bringing that knee that is up in the air in front of you and tucking it into your chest a bit before we extend. Same hand as foot, going forward. Just straightening the knee as much as you can here. And then switching that hold to the opposite. Bring your other hand to your hip. Letting that go. Coming to standing, we're going to shake that out. And we're actually going to do that front hand to foot pose again. And this time we're going to open it up to the side a little bit. So take a couple of seconds to just stretch out your arches in case you were gripping there. You might want to even press onto the top of the foot to stretch the dorsal. dorsal fin. Okay, here we go. We're standing in our mountain pose. I'm gonna bend the right knee, bring it up to the chest. I'm gonna use the same hand as foot to extend it forward. And finding whatever grasp on your foot feels necessary. I'm gonna take my other hand, my opposite hand, to the hip if I can. If you need to adjust where you're grabbing at any point, let yourself do that. Continuing to breathe, we're just going to gently open that leg to the side. Only as far as you can. No need to think that it has to be completely to the side. Just a little bit of an open position is fine. We want to make sure that the hips are staying as equal as possible here. So we don't want to find ourselves in this shape, even though that did feel really good. Pop my hip there. And bring it back in front. And let go of it. Bring your both hands to your hips. Hold it for 3, 2, 1. Lower. And let's go ahead and immediately stretch out the quads there. So tucking. Oh, that feels good. Ooh, bending the knee. And lowering it down. Getting ready to do the same on the other side. Ooh, so finding our nice balanced stance. Bending the left knee into the chest. Grabbing onto the foot with the same hand. And extending forward, bring the other hand to the hip. Again, if your knee needs to be bent here, it's totally okay. And slowly and gently opening that leg up to the side, trying to keep the hips in line with each other and not one hip hiked up higher than the other. And bringing that back to the front. Letting go, bringing both hands to the hips for 3, 2, 1. Let it go. Stretching out that quad, bending the knee. Oh, that feels so good. All right, letting it go, shaking it out. Whew. So we're going to do a little bit of a retrograde of this entire class to get us back to the ground. So we just worked on some standing poses. We're going to go back to the top of our mat. I'm going to face this way this time. And we're just going to, starting in mountain pose. Take an inhale, bringing the arms up. Palms together as we exhale them. Back in front of the chest. Hands release. Inhale to bring them up. Exhale, right in front of your chest. Hands release. Inhale, they come up. Exhale, palms to the chest. We're going to lift our heels, so shifting the weight forward into the toes to our releve and lowering the heels. And shifting and lowering and shifting. Lowering, this time send the hips down and back as though you are sitting in a chair. Release the hands to your side, and as you inhale, scoop them up. Chest and neck, chin, face are reaching forward to that upper diagonal. And as you exhale, the next time, bring the palms together. Straighten the knees, hands at the chest. Sitting the weight forward in the balls of the feet, lifting the heels, releve. Lowering, going into a plie by sending our hips down and back. Releasing prayer to scoop the arms up in an inhale. Breathing here. And exhale, palms together in front of the chest. Last one of those. Sending the weight forward to relevant. And heels down, hips back and down the chair. Hands release, and we inhale to scoop them up. Bringing them to prayer, exhaling. From here, we're just gonna do a little bit of a squat to get ourselves back to the ground. So just bending the knees, sending the hips backwards. So kind of going through that same chair position, but this time we get to think chest towards the thighs and get to a point where you can rock your weight just a little bit forward on your hands to then situate yourselves in this low, low squat, and then let your hips go back to the ground. And we're just gonna take a little break here in this folded position. Sort of our theme of the day is just kind of knees to the chest, hugging, holding, loving yourself. Okay, little turtles, we're flipping over to our tabletop position for that same little flow that we did earlier. So we're in tabletop, we're extending to plank. We are going to lower. Coming up through cobra or up dog. Sending the hips backwards into a child's pose. Take an inhale, on your exhale, come to tabletop. Inhale, extend the right foot back. Exhale, bend the knee, tuck it into the chest, and plant the foot. Again, we're gonna tuck the back toes, lifting the heel, lifting the knee. And this time, our twist, we're going to attempt to do it in a high lunge with our hands in prayer position. So you're gonna start both hands on the ground, and then just walk your hands up so that they're situated on your thigh. Gently twist towards your right side, placing your left elbow just on the outside of your left knee, or your right knee. Oh, I'm really shaky. Bringing the palms together. Thinking about sending energy through that back heel to help stabilize you. And unwinding yourself, hands to the ground. This time we're going to let the knee fall to the ground, untuck the toes, and just let yourself hang out in this shape for a minute. You might want to bring both hands on the inside of your right leg and kind of let your hip flexor find a lot of stretch here. Send the weight of your hips backwards towards your back foot just a little bit to extend the front knee. You just find a little hamstring stretch here. So you can keep the foot that's in the front, your right foot, sort of pointed, the ankle pointed, or you can flex, or you can go back and forth between those two shapes, whatever feels good for you. Then coming back to that lunge position, tucking the back foot to send us back into our high lunge again. Just bring the front foot back to meet the other foot in plank. Take an inhale, exhale, lower. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, send the hips back to child's pose. Taking an inhale here, and on your next exhale, coming back to tabletop. Extending the left leg as you inhale. Exhale, bring it in to plant the sole of the foot, tucking the back toes to lift the knee. Coming up a little bit higher in that lunge to then twist towards the left side. So right elbow is coming on the outside of the left knee. Finding that prayer shape. Unwinding. Bring the hands back to the ground. Lower the back knee, unflip the toes, and just let yourself hang out in this low lunge, feeling the stretch in your hip flexors here. Then sending the hips back towards the back foot to extend the front knee for a hamstring stretch. Again, playing with that front foot to find what stretches you the best. And then coming back into that low lunge to get to the higher lunge. To send the front leg back into plank. This is going to be our last flow here. Lowering down. Whew. Inhaling up. Exhaling, sending the hips back. Hold that child's pose for a couple of breaths. Again, the knees can be close together with your chest relaxing on your thighs, or they can be spread a little bit so that your chest can reach towards the ground between your legs. And then slowly come up so that your spine is upright. And you're just going to shift yourself however you need to find yourself back into this stack pose. So sitting on the sits bones with the legs in front of us, go ahead and flex both of your ankles so the toes are facing the ceiling. Let's take an inhale, bringing the arms up. And then exhale, letting yourself fold forward as gently as you need, but also maybe checking in to see if the work that we've done over the past couple of minutes has opened you up a little bit, loosened any of your muscles to make this a deeper stretch than it was when we started earlier today. Rolling up through the spine to sit upright. And depending on if you're using a mat or not and how you're situated on the mat, you might need to move your hips down a little bit so that your back can be on the mat. And we're just going to roll onto our backs, keeping the soles of the feet on the ground. The knees are bent and facing up towards the ceiling. And we're just going to do a little bit of a breathing movement here. So our palms, the palms of our hands, are going to be on the ground, just reaching past our hips towards our feet. And as we inhale, we're going to send the weight of our bodies into the soles of our feet to press into the ground, thus lifting our hips up. And as we exhale, we're gonna lower the hips down. Inhale, pressing into the feet, which lifts the hips up. Exhale, letting the hips go down. Do 2 more of those. Inhale, press. Exhale, release. Final one. Inhale, press. Let's hold that one up for a couple of breaths. If you want to challenge yourself to do so, you can think about bringing your shoulder blades closer together and clasping your hands underneath so that you've created a little bit more space in the upper body from shoulder to shoulder. And releasing that, I'm going to exhale to lower down. Once your full spine is on the ground, go ahead and lift your legs up so that your feet are facing towards the ceiling, and you can shake it out for a little bit if you'd like. Shaking the ankles, the thighs, whatever feels right. Maybe some ankle circles here. Then eventually find a moment of what we imagine to be stillness, although we're never really still. But thinking about the legs calming down a little bit and just feet reaching up towards the ceiling. Let your knees bend slowly to lower your feet back onto your mat. And just extend them out so that you are completely on your back here as we go into Savasana. Palms can be open and facing the ceiling, or palms can come to the stomach or chest. Whatever feels right for you. And I'm going to stop talking for a few minutes. Let you have these final few moments in blissful, peaceful silence. Okay, if you have not fallen asleep, start to find tiny little movements in your body. Bending the knees, circling the ankles, gripping with the fingers, blinking. And slowly make your way over into fetal position on either side. I'm going to do the opposite fetal position that I did earlier, so I feel even. And slowly press yourself up. And just take your time to get to whatever position you're trying to get to. And I'm just going to come closer to the video so that I can stop the recording.